Good Wednesday morning, folks. Welcome to the very first edition of Coffee with Casey. Everyone get their Joe and we'll talk about it. You know, we'll talk about how I just threw my wallet into the washing machine accidentally and yeah, ruined that. But for anyone who is new here, here's the deal. For the marquee golf events, we'll try and do a live every Wednesday morning, maybe about 20 to 30 minutes. It all depends on my bandwidth, but the intent is there and that's what counts. Um, a nice little amuse-bouche to start your morning commute. For those of you who are going to work, grab yourself a cup of Joe and ready to go. Obviously, we've got a nice little buffet for you. CJ Cup Byron Nelson's this weekend. NBA Conference Finals have tipped off. What an unbelievable comeback by the New York Knicks last night. Um, the moment I saw Darren Ravel tweet some nonsense about how the sports books will be able to build a new hotel off of that Cavs cover and win last night, I knew the Knicks would come back, and they absolutely did. So crazy, crazy night of basketball, and we're approaching Memorial Day weekend, and as any self-respecting baseball person knows, it's the first acceptable checkpoint to look at the standings and take them seriously. So we'll get into that, but before we get into any of that, we need to look in the rearview mirror a bit and talk about the PGA Championship that just happened at Aronimink Golf Club in Philadelphia. As I move that table to my side, as you can see, I'm not in my normal place here. So the PGA Championship. I was on the grounds on Saturday. You might have seen a picture of me. Perhaps that was me. Perhaps I was a doppelganger. You'll never know. But John Haselbauer on Twitter, well, John Haselbauer at PGA Tout on Twitter, I believe that's his name. He had a great piece earlier this week trying to pin down the identity of the PGA Championship. And he landed on calling it the everyman's major. And I love that. And I could not agree more, honestly, with that assessment. He hit it right on the head. And Aaron Wright just proved that thesis in real time. What we saw all weekend was an absolute logjam at the top of the leaderboard. No one can separate themselves from the pack. And then Aaron Rye decided he had seen enough. The man went 6 under par through his last 10 holes to capture his second PGA Tour victory, his first major championship, and hoist the Wanamaker Trophy. Just an unbelievable Sunday stretch. And here's truly what made the tournament so special, in my opinion. The leaderboard truly had players of every single ilk. You had Rory, you had Rahm, you had Ludwig Aubert, you had Xander Schauffele, the big names you'd always expect at these marquee events. And then right there with them, you had guys like Aaron Rye, Matty Schmidt, Alex Smalley. It was anyone's tournament to win, and it was Aaron Rye who dusted them all. Think about this for a second. A guy who is notoriously known for not hitting a long ball at all, a guy who has historically been a below average putter. I'll show you his spider chart in a second. That same guy, Aaron Rye, dug deep and pounded not one, but two 330 plus yard drives in his final 3 holes of the tournament. And then he proceeded to drain a 68-foot birdie putt on hole 17. 68 feet for birdie on a Sunday at a major to essentially seal the deal. If that's not the clutch gene personified, I don't know what it is. The leading score after 54 holes was 6 under. Aaron Rye went 6 under on his last 10 holes alone. A truly, truly well-deserved championship. A truly, truly well-deserved champion. So hats off to Aaron Rye. I thought the PGA Championship was a perfect encapsulation of the great game of golf. You don't need to be the longest hitter. You don't need to be the best putter. Sometimes you just need to have your moment when it matters most. And case in point, Aaron Rye. I thought the PGA of America set up Aronimink beautifully, and I hope future iterations of this championship follow that blueprint and don't just kind of listen to the marquee golfers whine about it. A quick personal aside, I attended my first PGA Championship on Saturday, my first PGA event on Saturday, and loved every second of it. Walking the entire course, what a track, what a property. I do love watching on TV because you obviously can't follow every group that you want to see live, but highly, highly recommend checking out a professional golf event in person if you have never before. It was great being outside, walking the grounds alongside the players, interacting with fellow golf sickos, and eating free food. Thanks to PGA of America, having a few libations, just a phenomenal day out. And I also learned that grabbing an Uber home from Philadelphia is cheaper than taking an Uber to the train and then taking a train. So if you're ever in the Philadelphia area, you got to get back to the tri-state area. Check out Uber because sometimes you can get a much better deal, surprisingly, and it will be quicker, door to door. And also, if you're at a golf event, who knows? You too might share a cigarette with a golfer after he finishes up the 12th hole. Shout out to Dan Brown. What an absolute legend, a true, true man of the people. The man finishes round. Uh, um, the man finished hole 12 and proceeded to smoke a heater with my buddy and myself on the spot. Look, it might have been put out there in the ether. You could go take a look at the picture yourself. But I would just say this. The PGA Tour needs to figure out how to market these personalities because that right there, in my opinion, is content gold. There are guys like Dan Brown, Hal Tongley, that don't get the fanfare that many of the marquee golfers do. And they have really good personalities, and they can help kind of grow the audience a bit, in my opinion. But that's a conversation for a different day. For today, let's talk a little Byron Nelson, CJ Cup. Give me 1 second, though, before we get into that and more. All right. We got the Byron Nelson, CJ Cup. So we go from a major to a little rinky-dink event, but I love that. We get some of my my losers that like to bet on this week. So we're going to put the PGA Championship behind us, and we're going to look ahead to some MDW action. We go to Texas for a little two-step, and this week we've got the CJ Cup Byron Nelson at TPC Craig Ranch. They just did a massive renovation of the course, but historically this has been one of the most vanilla courses on tour all season long. It will play around 7,400 yards, I believe, as a par 71, and this is in all likelihood a birdie fest, and a true birdie fest. I mean by that. Scores here have broken 30 under par, which is pretty absurd. If you're not pouring them in from the jump, you are a toast. It's kind of just a go low or go home kind of week. If you're not starting out hot, see ya. The field is watered down. I love that because I think it opens it up a bit. However, Scottie Scheffler is also playing, which I don't love. The man is basically even odds to win this thing, and rightfully so. He won it last year. So when we get to our betting picks in a second, we're going to very likely look at the without Scottie Scheffler markets because I have zero interest in taking him head on at a birdie fest as he looks to defend his CJ Cup title. This might be reminiscent of what happened at the Amex earlier this season where Scottie just absolutely ran away with it. And we were left holding the bag because we had two guys tied for second place. And if we just took them in the without Scottie market, we probably would have won a golf bet. But yeah, we haven't done much of winning this season. So that's probably a losing proposition if we don't look at the without Scottie market. In terms of kind of what we're looking for this week, while distance off the tee never hurts, elite off the tee skills won't give you as much of an advantage here as they do at other stops. What we really want are guys who generate the most scoring opportunities. Give me guys who are elite tee to green, especially those who might thrive in some windy conditions. The weather forecast doesn't look optimal. It's also Texas. Could really ramp up there. But in reality, this tournament will simply come down to who can generate and convert the most birdie opportunities. That's the whole formula to success here. Birdies, 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 eagles. Avoid bogeys at all costs. Obviously, you want to do that every tournament, but this is obviously more pronounced. We're going to take a look at the odds board and the model and see who we want to back. We're not going to go crazy this week like we did with the PGA. By the way, if you followed the PGA Championship show and you followed every single one of my bets, you would have had a pretty good week because we grabbed two of the first-round leaders in Minwoo Lee and Aldrich Potgieter. I believe Minwoo Lee's odds we had at 60-1, and Potgieter was 125-1. Yes, there was a 7-way chop, but so you would have got Minwoo Lee at around 8-1, and then Potgieter at around 18-1, if my math is correct off the top of my head. So you should have had a profitable week. So let's give ourselves a pat on the back there. We didn't get any outrights home. I thought Chris Gotterup was going to do it for us, but seemingly he had other plans for his last 27 holes. That flop shot on 11 was tough when he was tied for the lead, and that ball just rolled forever off the green. But yeah, we're not going to go crazy this week. 2 to 3 outrights. We'll look for in the without market, maybe a first-round leader bet just for fun. That's going to be the car. We're going to keep it clean. We're going to keep it simple. So we'll load up the model, see what they have to say. I honestly haven't looked at all. So give me 1 second. How do I do this again? I always forget. All right, we're loading it all up. Give me a sec. How do I share my screen? I always forget how to do this. All right, here we go. All right. So we obviously missed all of the value, most likely. Ooh, see, woo. Data Golf has him at a 6.1% chance of winning, and FanDuel is pricing him at 5.9%. So if you want to go to bat against Scottie, just in the full outright market, Siwoo is a pretty decent look at 16-1 on FanDuel. So not bad. I do like Rio this week. I always like Rio. We all know that. He's one of my favorite golfers, but elite tee to green. Can he get that putter hot enough? I don't know if he can. That's what scares me. Wyndham Clark, I saw a lot of people on Twitter on him. Doesn't catch my eye particularly, but potentially as a first-round leader. There's a few guys I am eyeing just off the jump. I do like Siwoo if we were to play with Scottie markets. Siwoo's been playing great golf all season long. I mean, it's hard to deny that. It's just same thing as Rio. Can you get that putter hot enough to generate as many birdies as possible? I don't know, but like, look at his season. He's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's 14 events, and he's finished in the top 10 in 5 of them, excuse me, and top 20 in half. So Siwoo Kim's having one of the best seasons on tour, but he has yet to win a tournament. Perhaps it's this week at TPC Craig Ranch. I know he does call Texas home, so now he does. Potentially a luck. But the guys I'm looking at right now we got to go to the just odds markets to confirm. I was eyeing Ryo Hisatsune as usual, Hao Tong Lee as usual, and Michael Brennan. Those are the 3 guys I'm probably going to grab. If you look at the without Scottie market, I don't know if these are the best odds, but Rio at 31-1, Hao Tong Lee at 47-1, and the last one is I already grabbed Michael Brennan. He's 38-1. I actually got a 75-1. I took him in a full market with Scottie, but these are the 3 guys I would eye from a pure without Scottie market. Again, I would shop around to make sure you're getting the best without odds, the winner without odds. So I'm just pulling up DraftKings for the sake of time here. But if we really wanted to look deeper into this, I also am intrigued by Blades Brown, the 18-year-old protege. So it's going to be windy. I just want to check it out and see who the best ball strikers are, kind of when you filter by that. So as you see, Michael Brennan does pop a bit. Hao Tong Lee pops a bit. Rio. So all of them rate out pretty well in the model. Max McGreevy is also rating out pretty well. If we kind of look at the last 6 months, let's do this last 12 months and see if that changes. Yeah. Max McGreevy is interesting. I don't even know what his odds are here. 64-1 in the without Scottie markets. What does Data Dolph have? Okay. But yeah, I'm thinking Rio, Haotong Lee, and Michael Brennan, and probably one more. I just can't get around to betting Wyndham Clark again. I really can't. Maybe Tom Kim. Damn. Tom Kim. If it was the TGL sim, I'd be riding Tom Kim to the wheels fall off. I mean, that guy is the best player on a simulator I have ever seen. If there was a Hall of Fame for golf simulators, it would be that. Just incredible on the sim. Where did I want to go now? Oh, let's just go back to Aronimink for a second. This is what I was talking about when I said he is a horrible putter and he does not hit the ball far at all. So what he did in his final 3 holes just is even more impressive to me. He had 2 330-plus yard drives and drained a 68-foot birdie putt, all within his last 3 holes. And look how poor of a putter he is, and look how little distance he generates with his driver. So Aronimink put his balls on the table and won the PGA Championship. So again, shout out to him. He is the one who separated himself from the pack. Just an incredible performance down the stretch, as we already went through. There was one. Oh, let's talk a little first-round leader. We got to look at the tee times. I have yet to do that. PGA Tour tee times. Probably want to take someone in the morning. I don't really know. I'm not going to put much thought into this. I'm just literally going to fire a dart, throw a dart here. Mark Hubbard. There it is. Don't even know what his odds are. He just finished second at the Myrtle Beach Open, where he beat Aronimink, actually, and finished ahead of him. But we're going to take the end of round 1 leader without Scottie. Also, keep an eye on this. This market, usually on DraftKings, is always better odds. So always check that out. Again, shop around for the best odds here. I'm not going to do that for the sake of time, but I like Mark Hubbard at 92-1 first-round leader without Scottie Scheffler. I believe he's been playing pretty damn good golf, aside from that second-place finish. Okay, not really, but yeah, he comes in hot with a fresh second-place finish. So give me Mark Hubbard 92-1 in the without Scottie Scheffler market for first-round leader. He's out bright and early tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. Throw a nice start. Mark Hubbard, FRL. Let's get it home for a second. Let's get a FRL home without a chop. That would be nice. But yeah, so the 3 outrights we're looking for in the without Scottie market at the Byron Nelson: Haotong Lee, Ryo Hisatsune, and Michael Brennan, and give us Mark Hubbard, first-round leader as well. Let's shift gears to the NBA Conference Finals. An unbelievable fourth quarter by the New York Knicks last night. Jalen Brunson was spectacular. Mikal Bridges was also awesome on both ends of the floor. I thought that the series would be a tougher test than most people were giving Cleveland credit for. I was right for 3 quarters, but now that the Knicks just basically stole game 1 after looking like they were going to go down 0-1 at home, yeah, I don't really see how Cleveland is going to come back from that, if I'm being honest. I thought Kenny Atkinson shit down his leg last night. James Harden is who he always is in the playoffs. It's a liability on defense and turns the ball over way too much recently and very inefficient from the field. So just a tough showing all around by the Cavs. But hats off to the New York Knicks. Just an unbelievable fourth quarter last night. What a comeback. My brother was there. The atmosphere looked electric. So the New York Knickerbockers are 3 games away from the NBA Finals, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. It's been they've made it in 1999. It's been 28 years since their last conference title, I believe. It's 27 years. I probably just did that math wrong. Yeah, I don't see how they lose the East, if I'm being honest. I would be shocked if Cleveland makes this a 6-7 game series now. If they won last night, I thought that was imperative to doing so. But I think it could be Knicks in 5. So we'll see what happens. But you got to play game 2 now and all the rest. But just an unbelievable comeback by the New York Knicks. Hats off to them. Spurs-Thunder is an absolute gauntlet of a series. I mean, game 1 was insane, only to be bested by what the Knicks did last night. Game 1, though, went to double overtime. Whoever comes out of that series alive, in my opinion, is going to win the championship as long as they're healthy. That's my belief. But they're also going to be absolutely exhausted after getting pushed to the limit. So we'll see how that shakes up. I need to stop for a second and acknowledge how damn special Victor Wembanyama is. The man is an alien. He is nothing we have ever seen before on a basketball court. He just went for 41 points, 24 rebounds, and 3 blocks against the reigning champs as a 22-year-old. And he had the audacity to pull up from Steph Curry range to send the game to a second overtime. The audacity on that man. I mean, just how lucky are Spurs fans? Seriously, you go from David Robinson to Tim Duncan to Victor Wembanyama. Most franchises go generations without getting a single one of those players. I mean, the Spurs, they're rolling out the youngest starting lineup in all conference finals history. Their starting 5 is 279 days younger than the previous record holders, the 1977 Blazers, who, by the way, went on to win the NBA championship. Win or lose this series, we're witnessing the birth of the next great Spurs dynasty. So enjoy it, basketball fans. And Spurs fans, you're very spoiled, going from the Admiral to the big fundamental to the alien. I mean, just incredible stuff, how that happens. Just 3 generational centers and 3 Hall of Famers. I'm anointing Victor Wembanyama as a future Hall of Famer right now. So let me be the first to say congratulations to Victor Wembanyama on entering the Basketball Hall of Fame. Before we wrap up, I do think the Thunder, by the way, still won the series, but in 7. So Thunder Knicks is my prediction. And I know I just said I like the West to win the championship, but I think the Knicks can hang with them, if I'm being honest. We'll see. Long way to go. Before we wrap up, let's talk about my Yankees, because if you thought I was going to go through an episode without complaining about this team, you don't know me. Yes, they have won 2 straight against the Blue Jays, but their bullpen is a heart attack waiting to happen. It appears their annual swoon arrived a bit earlier than expected this year. They've lost 9 of their last 13 games and just went 2-7 on a road trip. Before the season, I talked about how the Yankees kind of should be the rightful favorite in the American League, and I still stand by that wholeheartedly. I said it because of their pitching and their depth, but I also said the bullpen would be a major, major problem. And what do you know it? That's proven to be exactly right. They don't have a single reliever in the top 50 in K walk percentage. Not one. It's pretty wild. And it's insane to me that for the last 2 years, outside of a 2-month stretch from Luke Weaver, Tim Hill is legitimate. It is insane to me that for the last 2 years, outside of a 2-month stretch from Luke Weaver, Tim Hill is legitimately the only reliever I trust in the Yankees bullpen. Tim Hill. That's it. That's the list. That's the list of relievers I genuinely put my utmost trust in the Yankees bullpen. I mean, it's hard to fathom that Brian Cashman did so little to address the bullpen in the offseason. Like, he just took on reclamation projects, and none of them have seemed to have worked out. So the Yankees are going to have to adjust on the fly here. Austin Wells is just lost. I mean, he had a 311 OPS in the month of May going into last night and proceeded to go 0-4 again. So I don't even know what he is right now. Ryan McMahon, I know he homered last night, had a big one when the Yankees were down 3-0. He's been struggling of late all season long, pretty much. But they're both zeros at the plate on any given night, regardless of who starts. The bottom of the Yankees lineup is basically handing opposing pitchers 12 free outs. 12 automatic outs, pretty much. That's not a lineup. It's a gift basket for other teams. So Brian Cashman needs to retool some of the roster on the fly yet again, because he willfully ignored the glaring holes all offseason. And here's the frustrating part. The American League stinks right now. It really does. And the only other good team in the league just so happens to be in the AL East. The Tampa Bay Rays are 16 games above 500 and currently have a 3-game lead on the Yankees. It cannot be understated how badly the Yankees need to win the division and lock up home field advantage. Just look what happened last year when they played with their food for 6 weeks. They coughed up a 6.5 game AL East lead by August, lost the tiebreaker to the Jays, and then proceeded to get throttled by Toronto in the ALDS. That cannot happen again. That is a recipe for disaster. So the Yankees need to continue to win. They've won 2 in a row. They need to snap out of this funk immediately, put it behind them, and Brian Cashman needs to act swiftly because you need a right-handed catcher, you probably need a third baseman, and you need multiple pieces for the bullpen. Playing every day with 12 automatic outs and a bullpen where you trust one man is a dangerous, dangerous game and not a recipe for championship success. So that's going to do it for Coffee with Casey. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. If you tail any of my golf picks this weekend and they lose, do not come for me. I warned you. I always warn you. And if they hit, I am a genius. And I'll remind you of that constantly. And you're welcome. But have a great rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy the Memorial Day weekend. Enjoy the sun. Hopefully, if you're getting sun, weather in the Northeast looks awful. And as always, Carpe Diem. We'll talk soon. Hey, before we go, we have a question. Hey, Casey, quick question. What are the English Premier markets like in the U.S.? That is a very good question, Rasco. Look, I am not the soccer extraordinaire, but I highly, highly recommend you check out Profit Duel, where you could get a list of all the markets available on the odds screen, and you'll be able to see kind of what odds are available. But for right now, for the purposes of the show, I'll try and pull that up for you. Admittedly, I'm not a soccer aficionado, so give me 1 second. So on FanDuel EPL, let's just see. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen. Add the stage. I already have it. All right. So, sorry, DraftKings, it meant. I believe that's Europa League, right? I have to assume. As I said, I'm not a soccer guy. Don't know much. But it looks like they've got a pretty extensive soccer market. Money line, total goals to win the cup, tie no bet, goal scorer, props, Asian handicap. And then if you go to each, you can see basically what they have to win the cup, tie no bet, total goals spread, specials, goal scorer, shots. So it seems like they got a lot. And if you're on DraftKings, you can get a same game parlay boost. So highly recommend you check that out. But if you want some assistance, I highly recommend you hop in the Profit Duel Discord or get yourself a Profit Duel subscription. And there are people who know way more about soccer than I do that can help you out there and how to maximize it. But yeah, so it seems like the English Premier League markets are pretty vast here in the U.S. Admittedly, I don't know much about how to kind of take advantage of them. I don't really know the first thing about soccer. Everything else, though, you can ask me. So I apologize. I can't help you there on how to steer you in the right direction on how to use your soccer promotions. And yeah, of course, happy to point out all promotional opportunities. I wish I could tell you how to turn it into some expected cash, but I unfortunately can't. But people a lot smarter than me in the Profit Duel Discord can. So head on over to there and check it out. That'll do it for today's show. And I hope everyone has a lovely holiday weekend.